The old lighthouse stood watch over Harmony Point. The townsfolk whispered tales of haunting melodies. A mournful tune drifted across the wind. The lighthouse was abandoned now, left to the mercy of the sea and its ghosts. Ethan had always been drawn to the melancholy beauty of the coast. A musician at heart, he sought solace in melodies, in the language of sound. He had heard whispers of the haunted lighthouse, of the sorrowful music that emanated from its heart. He felt an inexplicable pull towards it, a siren's call that promised both inspiration and sorrow. There was a curiosity within him, a desire to understand the story behind the melody. As he approached the lighthouse, the mournful melody grew stronger, weaving its way into his very being. The melody was faint at first. As Ethan drew closer, it grew. It became a mournful wail, echoing his own uncertainties. He felt a chill run down his spine, but he pressed on. The music beckoned him. He reached the foot of the lighthouse, its shadow stretching out like a dark arm. The paint peeled, revealing the weather-beaten stone beneath. He took a deep breath and pushed open the creaking door. The music was louder now, echoing off the stone walls. He climbed the spiral staircase, each step taking him closer to the source of the haunting melody. The air within the lighthouse was cold, damp, and heavy with the scent of salt and decay. Each footstep echoed on the stone steps, accompanied by the mournful wail of the ghostly melody. Ethan climbed higher, his heart pounding. The walls were bare, stripped of any life they might have once held, but the shadows seemed to dance. He reached the top of the lighthouse. He stepped into the chamber, his eyes drawn to a figure standing by the window. It was a woman. She was ethereal, translucent, her form shimmering like heat haze. She turned, and Ethan saw a face etched with sorrow, her eyes filled with a grief that transcended time. The music was coming from a gramophone in the corner. Its horn was old and tarnished, but the melody that flowed from it was clear and heartbreaking. Ethan recognized the song. It was a waltz, but the notes felt incomplete, as if the story they told was unfinished. He reached out, his fingers brushing against the cold metal. The woman turned, her eyes finally focusing on him. "Help me finish it," she whispered, her voice a mere echo of the wind that howled outside. Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. He wasn't afraid. He felt an overwhelming sense of sorrow, a deep empathy for the ghostly figure before him. He realized the music wasn't just a melody, it was a story, a plea from beyond the veil. In the corner he saw a piano, its keys yellowed with age. He sat down, his fingers brushing against the ivory. He understood. The song was her story, her unfinished business. The melody flowed through him. He could feel the woman's sadness, her longing, her regret. The notes came to him, filling the empty spaces in the melody. He played, his fingers dancing over the keys. The room filled with the sound of the piano, blending with the ghostly melody from the gramophone. The woman stood beside him, her form solidifying with each note he played. As the music swelled, the storm outside intensified. But inside there was a sense of peace settling. The music reached its crescendo. Ethan poured his heart into the melody, feeling the woman's emotions intertwined with his own. The storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil within the music. It was a battle between despair and hope, between the sorrow of the past and the promise of peace. The woman raised her arm, her form glowing brighter with each note he played. Ethan felt a surge of energy, a connection between the living and the dead. He didn't stop. The melody had to be finished. As the last note faded, a profound silence descended upon the lighthouse. The storm outside abated, the wind dying to a whisper. The woman turned to Ethan, a serene smile gracing her lips. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice clear and filled with gratitude. "You set me free." With a final sigh, she faded away, her form dissolving into motes of light. The gramophone sputtered and fell silent. Ethan sat there for a long moment, the echo of the music lingering in the air. He had helped her find peace. The haunting melody of the lighthouse had been transformed. Ethan left the lighthouse that morning, a changed man. He carried the melody in his heart, a reminder of the ghostly encounter and the profound sadness he had helped to soothe. He returned to Harmony Point. The town seemed different, as if a weight had been lifted. The lighthouse stood tall against the dawn, its beacon shining brightly. The haunting melody was gone, replaced by a sense of peace that settled over the town. The townsfolk spoke of Ethan's encounter, their whispers tinged with awe and gratitude. The lighthouse remained abandoned, but it was no longer a place of sorrow.